What's up, guys? Pittsburgh Weiss Schwarz back again with yet another part of our slime set review. Today we are doing blue, the last color. I am joined by Brian and our special guest, the Ryan Wibberly, all the way from Canada.
Hey, how's it going?
Andy unfortunately had to drop out tonight. He's not feeling too great, but we're just going to run through the rest of it, finish it out here, and get this out to you guys. So, start it off, Brian. You want to tell us about this one?
All right, I don't have Heart of the Cards up yet, so I don't know what the name of this card is, but this is a 0/0 1500 power Rimuru. If you have 2 or more other Demon Continent trait characters, gets 1000 power, sits at 2500. When this card is placed from the stage to the waiting room, you can ditch a card. If you do look at top 4, take a level 1 or higher card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, and send the rest to the waiting room. So this is the card that can grab the mask event.
Yeah, like usually this profile like picks characters or like it targets a trait, but this only hits level 1 or higher, so it gets any. So you can grab events, yay!
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jiri's just really good in general.
Well, usually
Yeah.
Usually the level 1 or higher versions of this like profile aren't very good because of how limited the selectivity it can be. Like GGO doesn't run this. Konosuba, I think, got one with the movie set just recently, and they don't run it. I'm trying to think of other ones. I can't really think of any other. But yeah, like usually level 1 or higher people don't like because you can't grab zeros, and zeros are usually like the good utility cards you would like to grab off of this effect.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But you have the mask event. Hey, that's a cool card, right?
Yeah. Which then grabs anything else you want and then goes to
Mhm.
memory. So,
Mm-hmm.
turbos through your first deck, swings at vanilla power, quote unquote, 2500. Is fine. I like it. Simple to understand. Simple card. Very good.
Yeah, good deck speed. Your level 1 combo is a salvage combo as well, so this helps build a bin for your combo turn. It helps you hit the refresh. It helps you hit a good refresh timing as well, which is what a compression heal based 2-turn sort of deck wants to or has to do
Right.
in order to succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good for the deck's general strategy. Yeah, I'm just gonna give this a I think it's like a B+ in context of the set, yeah.
I was thinking B+, yep.
Because these aren't as good as just normal Chiris, but this is fine in the
Yeah,
context
like
of the set.
if Mask didn't exist, I would think that this card would just be bad. Do you agree?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, if Mask didn't... I mean, like, GGO is the same thing. The builds that run that are running, like, Scanner or the what is it? The P-Chan, the gloves backup.
Right.
And those are the only time they play that. And this is a sort of a similar scenario. Because otherwise, you never play that card in a set with a bazillion good zeros. You don't run that one. So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. See, like, I want to give this card an A-, but I'm biased because I really like Mill.
Yeah.
Mill's pretty
Mill is pretty good.
I'll give it a B+. Like, you usually don't want to run that many copies because even though it hits Mask, it's still like limited in what it can grab. So you don't want to like be constantly doing this effect. So B+ is fine.
Yeah, you're on like maybe like 2 to 3, maybe 3 the most.
Yeah, most of the start cap at 3 and like sit at 2 usually. You play like 1 to help you accelerate first deck, and that's usually it, unless you need the mill to like hit like your third deck onward or whatever.
Yeah, that sounds like a 2 of to me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we can move on here.
Yep.
Okay, we got the Shizu combo that we keep talking about. So climax combo, when this attacks, if you have legendary hero, which is this pants, in your climax zone, mill the top 2, choose a 1 level X or lower demon continent character in your waiting room, return it to your hand, and this gain 2000 power for the turn, and that X is equal to the number of levels of the cards milled by that effect. So you add the levels together of the 2 cards you milled, and you get to level that, salvage that level or lower from your grave. And then also, when it becomes reversed, reveal top, as long as it's a character or the mask event, send it to memory. No other conditions. No 2 or less, whatever, just goes to memory. pretty good.
Yeah, haven't mentioned this yet, but there's two different masks, like you can see on the screen. There's like the booster counter mask, and then there's the TD search mask. So it does hit both of them because they have the same name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I know the search, what is it? The backup one, it like goes to memory, and then you can choose to pop it out of memory or something like that.
The backup is 2500 counter, and then at the start of your turn, I think is the timing, you can ditch a climax to add it back from memory. It's not very good, like we've mentioned earlier, because you don't really play for like backups or field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just want to jam things in memory, so the search is better.
Yeah, search adds consistency. Like the search mask gets you your Shizu, which gets you more compression and advantage. Search mask is usually just better.
This is a really nasty on attack combo.
Yeah, seriously.
This is pretty gross comparatively to other on attack combos that English has seen. I guess.
Do you know what the worst part about this combo is?
What?
The worst part about this combo. Do you know what the set that came out in Japanese right after Slime was?
No.
It was Sao 10th anniversary.
Oh,
you know that
okay.
1-0 Kirito combo?
Oh yeah, that combo's pretty good.
That's literally this, but better and power crept. Oh.
Yeah, because that you don't have to. You can just mill 0, salvage a level 0. You don't even have to do anything. It swings for the same power. That's pretty gross.
Yeah. So like this combo is really good, but the mill is forced. So if you turbo too fast, or if you have too long of a 0 game, the mill can sometimes screw you over with like refresh timings. That is a drawback, and that's why like something like the Kirito or like the Now combo from Key Anniversary are just like this sort of combo, but better because you have selective mill. And
you don't have to
mill if you're in a bad situation.
Hmm. Yeah, it is mandatory. That is kind of bad. I'm thinking back all the times of like Mog Road, and to be like, okay, just for one, and if like depending on if you trigger something and causes you to like draw or move a card, you can be a little reactive, but you can play around that by doing not running triggers that do that with this combo, which I don't think you do.
Like another issue with the combo is again because of the force mill. If you're instantly hit to 1 and you have a compressed deck because you didn't cancel whatsoever, then this screws you over like really hard.
Just kills
because
all your
you're forced to mill through.
Yeah.
Forced to mill through a quote unquote compressed deck. So there's a lot of like situations where this combo isn't actually as powerful as it seems on paper.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
Even then though, if you get hit into that situation, you can just play for the fairy and like go for like a delay turn, and then you do the combo next turn. So it's not like too detrimental. The deck doesn't fall too far behind from doing that, but that can be an issue if you're not ready for it.
Yeah.
Clearly, this is a bad card, and we just go big brain and play the trial deck, Magura.
No. Oof. No.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure literally every deck in Slime that plays a level 1 combo plays this card, right?
Yeah, definitely.
This card is too good.
Yeah, the combo is really good, and then the early play that's tied to us is like maybe I think the best card in the set, arguably, which is like another incentive to play this card. But like even then, this combo is just really good, and I think I would play it, or it would be my combo of choice no matter what.
Yeah, this seems, especially because it has synergy with the mask. It hits on mask, so you're not punished for running an event with it either.
Right. I mean, just running this package already, you're already pretty deep into the whole memory compression game. You have 8 cards.
Yeah, even if you didn't like the fairy card that like we talked about earlier, and like you don't like it, if you just run this in the mask, you still have the potential to hit 8 compression,
right?
Just from memory, and like it's not that hard to do so because the memory cards lead into one another. Like you play the mask, you grab the Shizu, and then that gives you 2 memory right away.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, good package.
I like it. Yeah.
Like you do lose because she goes to memory, like you lose the ability to like loop the combo, but that's because you have such a strong early play that is coming up, and we'll talk about that doesn't necessarily matter. That I know that's like an argument against this card as well.
I feel like you don't even have to loop this. The fact that it goes to memory is just so good, doesn't even matter. That payoff for running the card is too good in my opinion.
No, yeah, I mean,
throws it over the edge for me.
Yeah, having a clean card sit in memory for basically free sounds pretty good.
I mean, there's like two trains of thought, right? Like some people want to have the potential to loop it because, like, even though we say that like you don't need to or you don't want to, there are situations where in a game you would loop your level 1 combo over multiple turns just because that's how the game went. But like this card just doesn't let you do that because she goes to memory. But then you could also just make the argument that you just made that like this card does its job and then goes away forever into uninteractable compression, which is arguably better.
I think I'd be on that side. The uninteractable
that's
compression sounds a lot better than denying being able to loop. Because, what is this? This hits 7k.
Yeah, it's a 7k. It by itself, it's 7k on offense, and I think that's like something we haven't also talked about. That is an insane number, and it's like 500 power over or 500 power under like the quote unquote optimal benchmark a level 1 card has to hit to be able to attack into anything at level 1.
Yeah, it's just 500 bigger. So, yeah, 7k is pretty good. This is selective. On attack selective, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm with the A+. Easy.
Yeah, I mean, worst case, they're grabbing a utility 0 guaranteed from waiting room, so...
Yeah, I said this in the TD. If you whiff, or I said this in the TD video. If you whiff this card, the worst case, like you mill 2 climaxes or whatever, and you just mill. You grab like the Ditch CX Salvage or like another one of the really good zeros that this deck has to offer, like the Mass Bonder, or the brain, or like a Brainstorm, or even like a Cheery or something.
Yeah, you can just grab whatever you need. The zeros are
like because. If the 0 game was weaker in Slime, this card would get a little bit worse because the fail case is worse. But because Slime has a good floor with like a good utility 0-based game plan, then the fail case of this card isn't so much of a fail case, which makes it a little bit better as well.
Yeah, having good zeros to grab makes these cards that when you whiff, you only get zeros a lot better. So it's good that Slime has those. But yeah, super awesome combo. If you're playing Slime, you're probably playing this. This is really good. All right, let's move on to that early play. It's all you, Wibbs.
All right, 3/2. It's a 3/2 Shizu. She has 3 effects. The first effect is a memory condition. If you have 2 of the level 1 combo in memory, she's an early player. So always, she's an early play as long as 2 of those are in memory. No other timer. She comes into play and heals, and then if you have 2 other characters, she gains plus 1500 power and hand encore.
This is dumb.
Yeah.
This is really fucking good. Just sticks around forever.
It might be a bit hyperbolic to say, but I legitimately think that this early play was power creep when it came out in Japanese. And I still think it kind of is. I think this like profile is super premium on an early play healer, and it's absurd.
Yeah, this is pretty wild. I mean, even the what is it? The movie set, the Konosuba one, they have something similar.
The Union,
still...
they got the exact same card, but it's like a 2 or less condition instead of the memory condition. And it's still kind of absurd.
Yeah, and this is just like you can just keep playing this. It doesn't even matter.
You have a lot more control over the memory condition. And it sits at 10-5 cross turn with hand encore.
It de-incentivizes your opponent from like trying to beat over it, so they'll probably crash it. Then we talked about this before. Creates open lanes, which you can then use for fairy to spawn things that will attack profitably, then go to memory. Which is pretty cool interaction for the deck. To like build some extra memory. This is really fucking good.
I like it a lot.
Big fan.
I'm trying to think of like bad things to say about this card, but it's really hard to find them. Like this card is like, legitimately absolute premium in everything it does. It's a spam. It gets the condition makes it spammable, and it's extremely hard to whiff it unless you're having an awful game. It heals, which is what like a 2-turn sustain deck like Slime wants, and because it has hand encore, it sticks around forever. So you never have to worry about like throwing your cards away like the Shion does.
Yeah. Here you just hold the card and then you can throw it away if your opponent decides to beat over it.
Yeah, like throwing cards away, I guess, is like a wrong way to word it because like you still like throw cards away, but you always keep the premium attacker on the board. You never lose that. Which makes it better.
Yeah, the 10-5 2-soul beater that can't be removed outside of being bombed to a different zone, which has drawbacks for your opponent anyway, like creating open lanes.
Yeah, I'm trying to imagine. Go ahead.
If we're trying to talk about like English specifically, like the English meta, I don't think any meta deck can actually deal with this card at the moment, unless they warp their deck to
Probably ReZero, right? Is the only one.
Yeah, you have to hard remove it, hard anti-change it. I think is really the only way to deal with it.
ReZero /
Yeah.
Memory Snow is about the only deck that can out this, and that's it. Right? Because that's waiting room. Or not waiting room, that's bottom
I'm
deck.
sorry. I actually cut out. Am I back?
I
What's
can
wrong?
hear you.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. I've been cutting out. Yeah, the ReZero counter is bottom deck, so
Yeah.
it does hard
Yeah.
remove it. So that is like I think the only other deck that like reasonably outs this is Fate, because of not because they have an answer to this, but because they have an answer to the 1/0 Shizu
Yeah.
with the
Yeah, they
Sakura clock bombs.
The clock bomb, yeah.
Yeah, the clock bomb just
Yeah,
removes
but-
the Shizu from play.
Yeah, you don't get your memory condition against Fate usually, but if you like run the fairy, or if you play the fairy, then like the fairy can get around that and help put your Shizus in.
Yeah. The fairy will help your Fate matchup for sure. Make
Right,
sure you can put these in.
Yeah, the fairy's cost zero or lower.
Yeah, so you can summon the Shizu level 1, send her to memory. Because Fate will probably have an open board more often than not, unless they're clock encoring.
Well, you have the out to the clock encore as well, so like that is not an issue if you're having a good game.
Yeah. Yeah, this card's bonkers.
I'm digging the synergy here, yeah.
Yeah. It's like
It's really good, yeah.
A plus S, like somewhere in this range, right? This is wild, especially for English. English has never seen something like this before. This is really, really good.
I mean, like even in Japanese, this is still like super premium. Like this card's a 4 in every single slime list because of how good it is, and like people like this profile of an early play with like hand encore and healing is still like what everyone wants out of their early plays whenever a new set comes out.
Yeah, this is crazy. All right, we can move on. This card's awesome.
All right. Next up, we have Shizu, Case in Flitwood Kingdom. At the start of your opponent's attack phase, you may pay the cost. If so, run this to back row. So you can pay 1, run to back row. Pay 1, send it to waiting room. Look at top 4 cards of your deck. Choose a Demon Continent character, reveal it, put it into your hand.
The interesting combination of effects.
I actually don't like the combination of effects. I don't think they work together.
I mean, you'd have to pay 2 overall, right? Like this would
Yeah.
attack, pay 1, run to back row. From your back row, pay 1, sack it. Pick top 4 ad. It's really costly.
Yeah, if you wanna use this card as a plus into utility, it's a 2 stock, which is like fair in terms of resources, but that's not what you want out of the cards that you're playing.
Right.
Yeah.
Pay 2 plus seems like the normal cost for a plus. That's not like luck based plus, but you definitely have better things to run at 0 that we've seen so far in Slime.
Yeah, I mean, even not seeing some of the other blues, I don't think I would run this over some of the other stuff we've seen.
Yeah, we've already seen a bunch of the cards that give you like the turbo mill.
Mhm.
I think we're only we've basically seen them all. So it's not like the deck has mill problems to hit a good refresh timing. So you don't even need the check 4 to like help fix that issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only reason you'd run this is if you were hurting for mill, and it definitely doesn't look like you are.
Yeah. If it went to memory, if the pay 1 sack itself was pay 1 go to memory instead, then this card becomes. But it's not that. So unfortunately, I don't think this card's very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not great. Not that terrible. I don't know. Like
No, it's
like a C minus
C.
maybe.
The
C.
card itself is fine,
Yeah.
I guess, kind of, if you
Yeah.
don't care too much about the conflicting effects and you need the mill. But in the context of slime, this is a card that isn't needed because
Right.
the rest of the deck is just good and compensates for what this does.
Yeah. Just no reason to run the card. Alright. Moving on. We got Rimuru talking to the Great Sage. Level 0. At the beginning of your main phase, look at the top card of your library and put it either top of the library or the waiting rooms to surveil, beginning of every main phase. Also, rest 2 brainstorm to search brainstorm.
Rest to search brainstorm. That lets you look at the top card every turn.
So it's a 5-card brainstorm every turn if you don't do anything else where you brainstorm.
The beginning of your main phase, yeah.
Is that even this is just worse than
I don't
either
think
of the
The set already
self-rests.
has the set already has 2 really good top self brainstorms with the Shuna and the Ellen. So
Yeah.
why would the only reason you would ever consider this is budget options, honestly.
Yeah.
I can't word it any nicer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like a budget option. Like, I don't know. It's not even that great because in a standby deck you'd rather have salvage, but like the repeatable surveil is decent in a standby build.
Okay, yeah.
But it's like, ugh.
No, I don't think the trade-off is worth it being a rest
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
If you use this sort of card with the card that we just saw, there's some synergy there that makes it a little bit better. But as we said with the other card, with you don't really want to play this, so that synergy is wasted.
Yeah. Don't like it. It's like another C minus.
Give it a C.
It is a brainstorm, but whatever.
Yeah, this card is good if you're trying to play budget slime, but
Yeah.
that's about all it does.
Mm-hmm. Rest 2 brainstorm is just way too much of a liability in your deck.
Mm-hmm.
Just not good.
I don't know how far up, but we're coming up. We're gonna see 2 other back row cards that are in blue for this set that the set wants that tap. And because you want these 2 back row cards that have tap self effects, then this card becomes even worse because you have every turn you have to decide if you want to do the tap self effect or if you want to brainstorm, which isn't something that you want to be doing, or you want to be making a decision of, because you don't want your deck to be like Monogatari from 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Why make yourself make that decision when you don't have to?
All right, we can move on. See you with. Oh, this one.
Hey, that's the Rimuru clean cut I talked about earlier. So it's a 0/0. It's 2K, 2 effects. It's an anti-runner, so the card in front of this can't move slots, and then it has the clean cut effect. So when it reverses its battle opponent, choose another one of your characters, tap it, and then move it to an open back row.
These are 2 really good effects to be on the same card.
Mm-hmm.
The power demerit
there
is so debilitating because it makes you run another card to make it work, right?
Yeah.
There was a point in time when when anti-runners were first printed, I think, or around when Sunshine Volume 2 came out, when people started looking at anti-runner cards, that people said that this combination of effects would be the most broken thing in existence. And now we have it, and it's pretty mediocre.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's the power demerit. 2K is so low. If you're running
2K
it,
doesn't beat anything by itself. Even against free runners, it's a tie by itself, unless the free runner is bad and is less than 2K for whatever reason. So it's never attacking profitably unless you're playing another card that boosts it, that boosts its power, like the Shimikaze Kai in yellow, or the Brainstorm with the neg 500 power on play.
Yeah, you'd have to run another card to make it work.
Mm-hmm. And trying to rely on a 2-card combo so early in the game is just very, very inconsistent.
Yeah, the fact that you need another card to make this work at level 0 is, I think that just completely kills it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Entirely. If you're gonna play a field pressing 0, it better just work out of the blocks. The entire reason you're playing it. Even in an English environment where people love their fucking runners, I still don't think it's good.
Yeah, I don't think it's great at all, really.
Power demerit is too much.
Mm-hmm. It hurts.
Alright, we can move on here. We don't have to waste our time with this. This is a 2K backup. They have it.
Yay, 2K backup.
2K.
2K.
Slime is a bad enough set to have a 2K backup in Bushi's eyes. Sometimes sets are too good, like Batman Ninja, and they can't get 2K backups. So,
We love 1500 power backups.
All right.
Inherited Feelings Rimuru. Put one of your other Shizu Final Journey from the stage under this face down as a marker. If you're level 3 or higher, choose a Demon Continent character in your waiting room, put it into your stock, and then perform Predation. Choose up to one Rimuru successor. That's the Rem, correct? Or is that
Successor is the combo.
It's the combo.
The finisher.
Yeah, it's
Choose,
the combo.
choose a finisher and merge into the finisher and put them underneath as markers.
Okay, so it merges from waiting room. It doesn't put the things back in your deck, unlike other merges, and it's also only at level 3 or higher.
Yeah, but it refunds the stock, so it makes the first Rimuru zero cost.
Yeah, that's wild. That's a really good merge. The fact that it refunds the stock and it comes from grave, so you know it's clean. It's not like top deck stock.
Yeah, I mentioned this when we talked about the 3-2, but if you play this the merge package and you want to go for triple combo, it's only 6, which is that is pretty insane.
Yeah,
when you think about it.
That is really efficient.
But then the issue comes down because it's merged. You have to dedicate a lot of deck slots to cards that aren't really doing a whole lot. Like the 0/0 targets is a pretty good card, but you don't necessarily always want to run it. And this 2/1 is just a completely dead card until level 3 when you want to do the merge.
Yeah.
So you just have to like make the trade-off if you want to save the stock or if you want to like save deck slots or like save stock. And like usually because of some of like the stock charge options in Slime, you'd rather the deck slots than saving the stock. So this card's not really played that much anymore.
Okay.
Oh, really? You just don't play it? You just play the level 1 stuff instead?
Yeah. Like again, like all this card does is it saves you stock for your finisher, but like you have stock charging options in the mid game that like compensate that stock, so you don't need to save the stock.
Interesting. Still think it's a really good merge, though.
Yeah, I don't think it's horrible by any means.
I don't know exactly how to rate it. I think I'm just gonna give it a B, right? Just flat B. It's like very good merge.
Yeah, B.
Yeah,
B minus. I was thinking maybe.
I was a fan when I played this card, but I've opted into cutting it for like other cards that do other things. So like I would give it a B minus. Like I think it's good, but I don't really personally want to be playing it with what else the Slime has to offer.
Okay.
Fair enough.
All right.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what gets played when the set comes to English and the English deck.
Yeah, like the first couple iterations of the English deck are probably going to run this because a lot of like Westerners think that this package is absurd because it looks broken on paper. But I don't know. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I was pretty high on it too when I read it, but after you say that, it just like it saves you one. It saves you some stock, but you have other ways to generate stock, and especially like with the fairy and one of the other level 1s that we'll get to. You probably would rather play those because they come online earlier than this. So why even bother? And you don't want to run a lot of that 0 Shizu, even if you are running a greedier Climax split. You'd rather just run like 2 of it, or maybe even 1 of it, depending, or none of it, depending on what your split is.
I mean, the 0 Shizu is good, but the deck doesn't fully take advantage of what she does besides the Climax swap. But like we can talk about that when we get to that card.
Yeah. All right, we can move on. All right, I think this one's me. Is Rimuru on play, heal, on attack with the pants here, burn 1. Very simple.
It's Trouble Girl, Haruhi. Why is this a rare card in fucking 2019? Like, honestly, this is actually a little frustrating.
Yeah, that's
pretty bad. This should be at best an uncommon.
It feels like an uncommon. But oh, it's a level 3 that heals.
Yeah, it's a D. It's not good. Fuck. Yeah.
Again, if you're playing budget slime, this is like maybe the best thing that you can get, unless the Millium is also super cheap, like the red 3/2 on the door that heals, because that's just better than this. But yeah, budget options, but they're bad.
Yikes,
Yeah. Yeah, this is pretty yikes. All right, next. Wibbs.
Okay, it's a 3/2. When this is played from hand to stage, you can pay 1. If you do, choose a climax in your waiting room and add it back to your. Ooh, cool. And then when this attacks, choose another character and then gain 500 times the total number of characters on board for the turn.
Seems pretty good if your level 3 is looking for a reverse, which this deck is not.
Yeah.
That
first effect is good.
It's good when you don't think about it. Is how I'm
Yeah.
gonna say it. Like it looks really good on paper, but when you start to think about it, your level 3 combo that you're almost always gonna be playing is a cantrip, and then your other climax that you're playing is a pants trigger.
Yeah, so it loses a lot of value.
You don't really have trouble getting the climax you want in hand, yeah.
Yeah, getting the climax is the least of your problems usually when you play slimes. Like this card almost never has a position anywhere.
Yeah, that's a good point. On paper, I think it's fine. I don't think the set needs it though. I'll give it a C+. Salvage, like just on play, pay 1 salvage at climaxes. In a vacuum, pretty good, but set doesn't need it. All right, moving on, Brian.
All right. Automatic Battle State Rimuru. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, you may discard a card from your hand. If you do, choose a unique skill Great Sage in your waiting room and return it to your hand. That's a 1/1 blue event that does something. And when this card becomes reversed in battle, if the battle opponent of this card is level 0 or lower, it bottom decks it. So bottom deck level 0 bomb and bonds to this 1/1 event.
So the 1/1 event is it goes to memory, and then at the beginning of your climax phase, if it's in memory, you can choose any character with a Rimuru name, and they gain 2,500 power for the turn.
The event does go to memory.
It does go to memory.
The event doesn't do anything though.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
If you haven't noticed as well, the Rimurus are your level 0s and your level 3s usually. Like you don't have a lot of like good mid game zeros mid game Rimurus besides like the 1/0 stock charger. And so that card doesn't really do a whole lot, which makes this card really bad because this card's only good if the event's good.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it's just a bomb with a ditch out. It's like I'll give it a plus for the ditch out. It's like whatever.
It's okay.
It's not great.
Never gonna see play.
Yeah, there's no reason to play this card unless you just like want to send as many of these stupid events to memory, and you're running like 8 1/1 events, which doesn't sound like a lot of fun. But
we love it. We love 8 event decks.
Yikes! All right. Okay, we got the Shizu that we talked about before. This is the merge piece, level 0 merge piece. On play, you can pay 1, ditch a climax card, return a climax card from your waiting for your hand, so it's a climax swap. Then on attack, look it up to 2 from the top of your deck, choose one from among them, put it back, and then put the other one in the waiting room, so it's choose your trigger from the top 2.
This is a good card. I'm a big fan of this, actually.
Yeah, this is a really good combination of effects. It's a good 0 later in the game, even if you have to crash it, because it helps keep your triggers clean. If you see just a clean card on top and you want clean trigger, you can just leave that one card and you don't have to ditch anything else. Put it back, just trigger that. If you're trying to dig for a soul trigger, set up some sort of exact damage, this card also does that for you. These effects are very, very strong. The on attack, choose your trigger, just a really, really strong effect. And it's a climax swap. Super broken.
Yeah, we've been talking about like running greedy climax like splits, like 4 pants, 3 standby, 1 wind, or like 4 pants, 2 standby, 2 wind, 2 door, 2 wind. which is like kind of unheard of for a lot of Weiss people, because like a lot of Weiss players think like 4 and 4 is how climaxes should always be played, no matter what. But because you have a climax switch, is that how I call it? Sure. Because you have a climax switch with the pants trigger, it's like losing the consistency on running a split of climax becomes less of an issue or less of a detriment. Because anytime you trigger a pants trigger, you can convert that pants trigger into any climax you want.
Right.
Even if the climax that you want isn't in the bin when you trigger the pants.
Yeah, like this effect is just obscenely strong, and I think that English players will realize this as more of these sets get printed in English, because this is like every single set gets this effect now in JP. They all do. And I think that having access to a good card with this effect makes deck building a lot more fun. Because it just gives you a lot more options.
It opens up greedy climax split opportunities, whereas like if you didn't have this kind of effect, you didn't get that. This card also like super bumps up the deck's consistency if you wanted to play it. Like because it converts any climax into a climax you want, it increases the percentage of getting your level 1 climax by the level 1 climax turn.
Right.
So if you run this card, you very rarely will ever miss the climax. Or like the chances that you do miss the climax are a lot lower than if you didn't have this kind of card in the deck with the pants trigger.
Yeah, for sure. I really like it. This is a I'm just gonna give it an A. Card's good.
So hear me out. One of the issues and the reason why people don't necessarily play this card anymore is because the trigger lineup in Slime isn't actually that good. Does that make sense?
Well, I guess, yeah, if you're running pants, the ability for you to run... Yeah.
Like pants is a good trigger sometimes, and sometimes it's not a very good trigger. So like when you're early in your deck and you have a big deck and you trigger pants, it can be good because that guarantees you like the climax you want because of the climax swap. But as you go like later into like the deck state, triggering pants becomes more of a liability because it's 2 less climaxes that you refresh with if you take the trigger instead of 1, for example. And then usually the other climax that you would want to play is the win trigger because the 3-2 combo is really good. So like if you're playing 4 pants 4 wind, the trigger lineup is really bad, so you get almost no value out of the second effect besides like guaranteeing a clean trigger.
Yeah. It doesn't.
Like that is a downside, and that is like the triggers being bad in Slime is kind of a reason why a lot of Japanese people have been like transitioning over to 4 pants 4 door, just because like the door trigger adds more to the floor of the deck and is a better trigger, and it makes the deck a little bit more consistent than what the win trigger would offer.
Interesting. And they're still running the Rimuru, they're just not playing the combo. Or
no, they actually like opt out of the Rimuru entirely. In those specific lists, and then they opt into like more healers and more into like the mid game options, and they play like a higher floor, lower ceiling kind of deck.
Okay. Interesting. I still really like the card though, like in general.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of this card. It's just I have a hard time justifying running it lately in my decks with Slime because I feel like it's not very needed that much. It's not needed that often.
Yeah, I'm thinking B+ as well there.
Good profile, just depending on your build, you might not actually need it. Alright, we move to this. I think this is you, Wibbs.
Yeah, sure. So it's a 0/0 Rigurd. Okay, whatever. It's a 0/0. When it's plays from hand to stage, you can place a card from your hand to clock. If you do, you can look it up to X cards from the top of your library, and then you choose 1 card among them, add it to your hand, and then you ditch the rest. And then X is equal to the number of your other Demon Continent character. So it's what's the set? Sakano? Yeah, it's the 0/0 Kato from Sakano, where it's like the Cosmo effect, but it's a clock self instead of pay 1, dish 1. This one has the potential to like dig more cards instead of only just digging the 3.
Yeah, I like that. Just a potential self-clock top check 5 ad. That like
No,
sounds
it's
pretty
only
strong.
it's 4
Oh,
max
other
actually, 'cause it
4
checks
max
other.
4.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. So my issue with this card and why I think it's kind of bad is the fact that it checks other characters. So like usually
Yeah,
when you play this kind of effects, it's because you're not ready for like your level 1 combo turn or whatever,
Right.
because you're missing the climax. So what you would usually do with those kind of cards is you would play them first before you like dedicate your combo cards in order to see if you get the climax, because if you get the climax or if you don't get the climax, changes what you do for the turn. But if you play this card and you go for that line of play, you have to commit before you do the effect. So you have to commit your cards before you know if you're gonna be able to combo or not.
yeah, that does make this a lot worse. So like, if you have a full back row, this is just a top check 2 ad. If it's the first level
Yeah.
0 you play, which is not great.
Not great if you're digging for a climax, yeah. Especially
Yeah,
on
you
first,
can't
especially on first deck.
like you can't like change game plans based on like the information that you get from the profile. Like you have to make a commitment, and then you have to take the chance if you get it or not, and that makes this card not good in my eyes.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Because yeah, I think that kills it for me in general.
Hmm.
Like a D plus maybe. I think that makes me hate it a lot more. When I read it originally, I was like, "Oh, it's a potential top check 5," but I didn't read the last part. That makes it a lot worse.
Hmm.
Because even if it's your shitter lane at level 1, you don't get to look at 3. It's just only 2. Not great.
Right, and then maybe you want to use this later in the game to dig for some other piece that you need, but by that point you're,
You
especially
don't want to clock yourself.
yeah, with a deck like Slime especially, where you just want to take it slow, heal, compress as hard as you can. You really don't want to be clocking yourself.
Yeah, the cost gears this sort of effect to like the early game rather than like the mid or like. But like the way the effect works is that the effect is geared towards like the mid game or the late
Right.
game more so than the early, and they just don't work together.
Yeah, like the cost and the effect itself are at odds here. All right, we can move on. Brian, this is you.
All right, we have Chloe Monopoly. When this is placed from your hand to the stage, it gets 1500 power for the turns. It's 3500 on the turn it's played. When this is placed from hand to the stage, you can discard a Demon Continent character. If you do, search your deck for a mask, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. So it bonds for the mask event from deck. Seems pretty good, yeah.
Wings for 3,500.
Swings for 3,500. Hand
Okay, look at
filters.
how cute she is, though. Look at how precious she is.
That
S
she
plus,
does look
just for
pretty
the art.
precious. Yeah, it is good art. Well, what is this? Okay, so you ditch a card, search the mask, play
Yeah,
the mask,
It's
search
not
a
card.
character.
It's not. You have to ditch
A
specifically
character,
because
character.
Yeah.
because it searches your deck, not your waiting room, or bonds from your deck, not waiting room.
Okay, ditch a card, add mask.
So
Play
like
mask.
like most other event bonds or like cards that are tied to events, usually what makes or breaks the card is how good the events are. And like as we've already seen, the mask event is that card is really good. It's a really good card that you want to be playing. So that inherently makes this card really good, and you want to be playing it because it's a consistency tool for your event. And then to top it all off, because it's a deck bond, it gives you even more immediate compression when you play it. Like even though like one card is marginal, that one card leads into another card, which can potentially like lead into more cards depending on how you play the game. And like that by itself is I value that extremely highly.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like this removes 1, 2, 3 card, and then the mask goes to memory. So you like the whole sequence here. If you take this, grab the event, play the event, you like remove 2 cards from your deck and also put a card into memory throughout that interaction, and then also have a 3,500. That's really, really good. I mean, if you're playing mask, you run like 2+ of this, right? Like pretty much every deck.
I usually hover between 1 to 2. So like my thought process is that this card is really, really good, But because your deck is so consistent and has like a bunch of tools available to actually get the masks, this card becomes dead very quickly in the mid game. Or like that's my feelings about it. Like once you run out of masks, or like if your masks are all gone in zones that you can't touch them anymore, like this card doesn't do anything. It's just a vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes me hesitant to play it. But like this card is this card's insane. It's really good.
Yeah, good card, good art. Just because it's attached to masks, swings at 35. I'm just
Yeah, it also swings at 35. So you're getting like a hyper consistency utility card that isn't a bad attack, which like it is kind of insane, in my opinion. Because usually like high utility consistency cards are weak because that's the trade-off for being a utility consistency card.
Right.
Yeah, but this one swings at 35, so that's really good.
This card's really good. I think I mentioned this earlier, but the deck is really consistent at hitting like 8+ memory, and like this is one of the main tools that makes it super consistent because it increases the consistency of getting your mask, which in turn get your Shizu combos, and then that keeps looping your memory and like helping you compress.
Right.
Just keeps throwing cards in memory. All right, we can move on here. Brian, I think this is you.
I just read the Chloe.
Oh, you read the Chloe? Oh, it's me.
That's you, yep.
It's me! Okay, we got this Rimuru. He's eating a leaf. This is a 1/0. It's a back row card, so you can... It has a bunch of act abilities, 3 of them. Pay 2, rest this, heal 1, repeatable heal. Rest this. If there is no marker under this, you choose a character from your waiting room, put it under this face down as a marker. And then you can also rest this to put that marker from under it to your stock. So it's a 2-turn stock generator that also has a repeatable heal.
So this is one of the cards that I talked about as like the back rows that you want to be playing that tap themselves, which made the top 2 brainstorm a bit worse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go over it.
Yeah.
Let's go over it really. It's a stock charging card that stock charges from the waiting room that also gives you the potential to heal more in the mid game, which plays into like how you want to play the mid game with your early play healers.
Yeah, it's just an additional heal that just sits on the stage that when you're not healing will stock charge you over 2 turns. Or at least give you marker compression.
Yeah, like even though the stock is delayed, it's always guaranteed compression. Or like it's compression if you're going to hit refresh, I guess. But like the fact that it markers from waiting room means that like you're guaranteed to compress if you aren't healing. So this card's never actually dead.
Yeah, that's really what I like about it.
Mm-hmm.
I like that no matter what you're doing, you're generating some form of advantage, whether it's stock or compression or healing. They're all really good. And it's a costless card. The costless thing is the good thing. Normally these are like 1/1s.
They are usually 1/1s, which
yeah, this is I mean we just looked at the Miku, right? From Fujimi. That was the last kind of similar card we looked at with like a bunch of toolboxy effects. But this is just always good. No matter what you're doing, it's always good and it's costless. That's a really good card.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of this when the set first came out, but I've gradually grown to like this card a lot more as time goes on.
Yeah, it's like, definitely not one that it's definitely not a card that jumps out as being immediately good, but in the game plan of the deck that we've talked about, I can definitely see this being a boon to the deck.
Mm-hmm. Like because the Shizu has hand encore, one of the arguments you can make is that after the turn she's played, she like you don't necessarily loop her, quote unquote, so you aren't healing. But because you run this card, you can continuously loop, quote unquote, the Shizu early play.
Yeah, because you'll pay to rest
this. Heals. Yeah, you can you ditch a card for the hand encore, and then you can pay 2 tap this to heal. So it's essentially like you're looping the Shizu kinda. If you
that's really cool.
Where you need to keep healing, and then like if once you go for that game plan, you can just keep the marker under it as well, which is like incidental additional compression, helps play into like the game plan of like hyper compressing a little bit better, makes like future deck states better.
Yeah, I don't know. I like everything about it. I'm gonna It is like a backer card. I don't want to keep handing out A's. It's like a B plus. It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's an A because it's not like a.
It's not like an
How do I
auto.
word this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not something that like you would like immediately include into a deck, even though it is really strong because like it has a specific role. So you would include it if you need that role for your deck to function. But like in the context of slime, that role that it plays is really important. So it's
Yeah.
usually what you want to be playing. But if you don't play it, I think that's perfectly fine as well.
Yeah, I feel like it's like if you have the slots for this and you're playing the sort of like you're playing Mask, you're playing all that stuff. I feel like making like 2 slots for this is something you probably want to do. If you're in that game plan.
You can even get away with 1 slot of this card. Actually, you don't even need to like dedicate a 2nd slot for the consistency because of Mask. Like you can just immediately grab this off your first Mask if you don't need a Shizu. And then you never have to worry about it ever again, and it's not like contesting deck slots for anything.
Yeah, so you could even go down to 1. That's really cool actually. But yeah, really awesome card. All right, moving on here is you Wibbs.
I hate this card, man.
Same.
Okay, it's a 1/0/2500. It's climax combo. When the opponent levels up, if traps throughout is in the climax zone and this is in your front row, look it up to the top 2 cards from your deck, choose up the 2 characters from among them, show them to your opponent, and you put them in the hand, and then you put the rest in the waiting room. And then it's a cost 0 or lower bottom deck bomb.
It's on book.
It is on a book. Okay, so immediately this card is terrible because it's a level 1 combo, so it's fighting against Shizu, and Shizu's an insane card.
Yeah.
So like this is already bad, but even if like you don't look at it in the context of the set, this isn't even like a good card in a vacuum.
Yeah, this is a really weird combination of effects.
It's a double conditional plus, and that doesn't make any sense to me. Why is your plus conditional when the only way that you can like get that condition is by making your opponent level up?
To level up, yeah.
Like there's so many cases where this card won't do anything and it won't generate any advantage for you, and it'll just be a fucking vanilla bottom deck bomb, and that's terrible.
There are so many other more flavorful effects you could give this character for their climax combo. And
he even has like like another flavor card coming up, or like I think it's only one other flavor card coming up, but like that this could have been like a spawn combo or something.
Yeah,
like, switch your deck and spawn 2 copies of it or something.
It's just
wasted. Been, like, a little bit better.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, even in a budget deck, I wouldn't play this. I'd rather play
this is really bad.
Magro combo.
Yeah, you just always play the Magro over this. Yeah, it sucks. D-, not good.
Yeah, it's not even a D.
Don't like it. All right. Brian, you're up.
All right. This is Viscous Steel Thread Rimuru. Is placed on the stage from your hand. Choose a character in your opponent's back row that's a higher level than your opponent's level. That character doesn't stand during your opponent's next stand phase. When this attacks, choose one of your other characters. That character gains X power for the turn. X is equal to 1,000 times the soul of that character.
I don't like it.
No, it's an interesting combination of effects.
In the matchups where this card is good, this card's absolutely insane. Like, okay, so obviously this card's only good against standby, right?
Yeah, it's only good against standby.
Yeah, so the first effect shuts down this, like the 2/2, I guess is how you should think of it. It like turns off the 2/2 that they standby in the back row, and then the second effect lets you beat over the 1/1 in the front row. So this card essentially shuts down 2 standby triggers, or 2 standby plays by itself. So it's like essentially a 2-for-1, which is really good.
Okay, so I was like thinking back to the other anti-standby card, but that is a 1/1, and this is costless.
Yeah. Like, if you play against a standby deck and you have this card, it sort of shuts down the mid-game standby like options that they can go for, and it makes the standby player have to like rethink what they do. Like maybe even give up attacks to standby in the front row, so that way they don't get denied. Because like this card single-handedly denies their standby is extremely hard.
Yeah.
Because it turns off the 2/2 or whatever they stand by in the back row, and then gives you the power to like get a Shizu or something over the front row cards that they've played or standby. And then when they lose the board, then they're essentially losing the game because that's all they have going for them.
Yeah, but then in the games where you're not running into standby, this card I feel like is incredibly
This card
awkward.
is completely useless. It's absolutely useless if you're not against standby.
I feel like dedicating even a single slot to it when you have so many other cards you want to run is a big hit against this.
Yeah,
even in a heavy standby meta, it's like just making every other matchup worse.
Yeah, it's like
in a heavy standby meta, I would play it. If I'm not expecting to play against like nothing but standby, I don't think I would ever play this card.
Yeah,
there's so many better options that you can play.
I'll just give it the middle of the road C then. Like immediately reading it, I was thinking about English, and it's like unless Fujimi really takes off, and it's like you play against nothing but Fujimi and Overlord every single round, I don't see a reason to run this card at all in English. But you know, we'll see. Maybe it's a good option for the set to have, I guess. So just middle of the road C. All right, we can move on. Stock charge Rimuru. When you use an act, you get stock charge. Very simple card. You have free acts, like we just looked at one.
Yeah, the 1/0 potion Rimuru is a free act every. And then your 2/1 support that you usually want to be playing is also a free act every. So like you can always activate this card without having to like brainstorm or something.
Okay.
And like the theory with this is like you don't have to run the 2/1 package if you run this in the fairy, right? Is that like the sort of the idea? Is you can
so like if you don't run the merge package, then you can opt into like the 1/0 back row and then you have like the stock generation to like play more into the mid game, so you can spam more Shizu early plays without hampering the top end.
Okay.
Or like you can like hyper compress even more if you're like in a matchup where stock compression will win you the game.
Okay. That's really cool. I really like this as a target from Fairy to be spawned.
Yeah, the interaction with Fairy and this card in particular is like actually really like you Fairy, you spawn this, you tap the potion Rimuru, and then this card refunds the Fairy, and then it goes to memory. So like it is an immediate direct compress one.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. You just plus one and compressed one for free.
I like it.
Yeah. I think that interaction alone makes this card better than I would normally give these, because I do like these cards, just in general. But that interaction, I think I'll give it like a B+ in the context of the set. I think I really like that interaction.
Yeah, I think like a card like this, or like the profile in general, is like a C kind of card because like it depends on like what the deck has to offer. But Slime has tools that can capitalize on this, and then this card plays into the game plan of Slime, of like what Slime wants to do really well. Yeah. So it makes the card like a lot better than what it should be.
Yeah. Yeah, this is super cool. That's such a cool interaction. All right, moving on. Here's a spicy one.
Okay, it's a 1/1 standby target. Wow, the second one of the set, or the third one, I guess. For each marker underneath it, it gains plus 1k power. If you have 2 other characters, it has plus 2,000 power, so it's a 1/1 7,500 base. And anytime you reverse your opponent, you may look at the top card of your deck. If you do, you marker it.
Okay, so it's like the 1/1 standby target that can just steamroll.
Yeah, it's a super hard snowball steamroll kind of card.
Yeah, it doesn't have Encore, but gets big.
This is really interesting. I feel like I see this effect kill my opponent by marking climaxes all the time, though.
Yeah, that's like the argument you make about it, but like in the context of stand, and if you get this out really early, the chances that you hit the climaxes are really limited. So like this card more often than not will just compress you, while also contesting board and giving you pluses every turn.
Yeah, I guess if you do hit it very early, the chances of that happening are low. I think like the times I've seen this effect like kill my opponent for playing it is mostly in Franks or something like that with Strelezia, where the timing of it is like my opponent is more compressed because they're on second deck, and they reveal a bunch of climaxes under it. Whereas this, if you get it out very early, the chances of that are lower. So it's a little different.
The marker is also optional for for what it's worth. So like once you hit second deck onwards, if you're playing this card in like a standby deck, you don't have to marker anymore.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah,
have
Which
to.
makes the
can
card
just
like
stop.
a lot better because you don't have to worry about like potentially hitting your climaxes and decompressing.
Yeah, you can just let it go. Yeah, this is really cool for a standby target. A lot more interesting than other standby targets.
And the issue is that standby and slime is not the best. It's not the game plan you want to go for because of like the Shizu combo and the Rimuru combo. So, this card doesn't really have a lot of value right now.
Yeah.
It could be really good with another set if like a standby deck takes. Like I would be okay with playing this card. I think it's really cool. I think it's better than like a 1/1 with Hand Encore, honestly.
Yeah, it definitely has potential.
With a second set, if standby becomes the play, this becomes a lot cooler. I'm in agreement. C+ across the board. All right, Brian.
All right, we have Shizu, Hero's Power. It is a 2/1 frontal 2K assist to level 3 or higher characters, and it has self-rest, draw a card, and ditch a card.
Renko from the Bang Dream Trial deck.
And this is the other backup card I was talking about, with like the free act that you want to be playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like because you have good early plays, like early play assists like become a lot better because like they play into that game plan. So like this card's already like not like a card that you would want to include usually, and then because it has like a free startup and a utility filter effect, it just makes it a little bit better.
Doesn't this cloud with the 1/0 Rimuru though, like in your back row? Because ideally you'd want to have a brainstorm in the 1/0 Rimuru.
It can, yeah. So like, depending on how the game is going or how the game goes, you would have to make the decision of what you want to put in the back row. But it would just depend on what the game or how the game's been going. Because like you don't always go for the potion reamer depending on how the game goes. Sometimes you just you just go from like the Shizu combo immediately into the Shizu early plays, so you don't have to worry about that. And like there are some games where you're okay with not having a brainstorm, and like you can just do potion and the assist in the back row, and you're okay.
Okay. This is definitely just really good with the Shizu early play. I think that alone makes it a lot better, and it's a free act. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, in the context of the deck, it seems pretty good. Fits the game plan pretty well.
Just give it like a B- area, because otherwise, in the context of the set, it's a lot better.
Yeah.
But outside of that, it's like a Bang Dream Trial deck card, but you know, still a good profile.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
All right, moving on here. Got this 2/1 for each other copy of himself in the front row against 2,000 power. And then when you play it, you can pay 1 and ditch 2. And if you do, search your deck for 2 of this card, place them in separate slots on the stage, and then shuffle your deck. So for pay 1, ditch 2, he summons 2 copies of himself, and then these would be 11Ks, 2/1 11Ks.
Mm-hmm.
You get +1 stock when you do the effect. That's pretty cool. And then you get compressed 2.
Yeah, you remove 2 cards from deck.
But hey, that Shizu early play is pretty cool, right?
Yeah, no reason to run
so
this.
Why would you ever play this?
Not
What's
exactly
the point?
Budget slime only.
Yeah, this is like this card's perfectly fine by itself. It's something I would consider if you want to play budget decks. But if you're not playing a budget deck, then there's absolutely no point or purpose for this.
Yeah, it's just straight worse than the Shizu early play.
Yeah, not a bad card by any means, but it's outclassed.
Yeah, not great. All right. Ragna.
All right, it's 0/0 Ragna, Stock Soul combo. This card's pretty. It's a global 500 to all characters. and then it's a climax combo with stock soul. When you play the stock soul, you can reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a demon continent character, choose one of your characters, and for that turn, they gain the following ability: Twin Drive, without a stock cost.
Oh, so it stock charges. Like a stock charging combo.
It's essentially a conditional stock charge off the top of your deck combo that sometimes also triggers your climaxes.
Yeah, I actually hate that it's costless Twin Drive. Because I feel like the best part about Twin Drive is it pays all climaxes.
Is being able to pay out stock mid-combat, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the glaring flaw with this card is it's a Twin Drive combo, and it combos with a stock soul, which is like one of the worst climaxes to run when you're with Twin Drives.
Yeah.
So like that already, like, it makes it worse, and then the fact that the combo itself is conditional, like, makes it a lot worse than what it should. Like, you can just play the stock soul and completely whiff, and then you have a global 500 that's doing nothing for you, and you just make one for no reason.
Doesn't do anything. Yeah, I hate it.
Yeah, I don't like it.
It's like an F plus almost. It's like almost. I would never play this. This is gross. All right, Brian, this next one's you.
All right, we have Soka, a new subordinate. When this is placed on the stage from your hand, you may return 2 characters from your waiting room to your deck and shuffle your deck. If you do, this can side attack without soul penalty for the turn. When this attacks, choose a Demon Continent character. That character gets 1500 power till the end of the turn. Sure.
The effect combination is actually pretty good.
Yeah, if this were a search deck, like, I feel like this effect in Sword Art is really dank because that's a search deck at all, but this is a salvage deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loses some
well,
of its
you
relevance.
can make the argument that like, you could put mass targets back into your deck and then grab them with masks.
Yeah.
But
I guess.
That's pretty whatever. It's pretty marginal.
Yeah, this is
like if you needed power, like you had an on reverse combo or something like a million, then I think this card's like actually pretty, because it's a card that you can play alongside like a finisher level 3, and you don't have to worry about crashing or whatever. If you need to crash, or if you don't need to crash or don't want to crash, then it works out pretty well.
Right.
But that's not what Slime wants to do. So this card has a niche that it doesn't it doesn't necessarily fill.
The cost is so cheeky, you can create really ridiculous situations where you set up perfect clean triggers and stuff like that. But I think that's very marginal. But yeah, it's like, this card's totally fine. I just don't think it, like we said, sees a place in the deck.
I honestly think this is a good card because, like, the effect combination is really good, and like it's 2 effects, or like it's an effect that you would want, and then another effect that like fixes the problem of the effect that you want, but it's just not something that Slime wants.
Mm-hmm. Just in the wrong set.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fine. Like C
Yeah.
plus, somewhere in there. All right. Gabiru. When this card becomes reversed, mill top 4. If this 1-0 is among them, this card pops to your hand. So it's like a coin flip that only hits on one card, but you get to mill 4 for it. This sucks.
That's I don't know.
F.
There could be an argument if the 1-0 was good, but the 1-0 is quite literally this card, but it mills 5 cards instead of 4.
Yeah, it's just garbage.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
never mind then.
Not good.
That's really bad.
I rescind my D.
Not good.
F plus for Melba.
It gives you deck speed. It does mill a lot of cards, and it's like it's a plussing quote unquote card. So I wouldn't say it's an F. Like I can see argument to run it for like a budget deck.
Gabiru waifu only. I don't know. This sounds really bad to me. But it's just like you're just saying this card just mills 4 when it dies and doesn't do anything. The 2K that mills 4. Just maybe that is an F plus to 2K that mills for. It's better than just a 2K, I guess.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I look at this card. It's just like I can't even fathom thinking about putting this card in a deck. Gabiru waifu only. All right. Next card.
It's a 0/0 Soe. It's a startup. Pay 1, tap himself. You can search your deck for up to 1 copy of itself, I'm pretty sure, and then you can just place it on any slot in the stage and then shuffle. This card fucking sucks.
Yeah, this sucks.
Mm-hmm.
This is bad.
Yeah, seems.
It is a pay 1 plus,
What?
so it's better than the last one.
Sure.
It is a pay 1 plus, I guess. I
guess.
guess.
But, yeah.
Why isn't this kind of effect like on play pay 1? Do it because that profile exists. Why do you have to tap yourself to do this? Like it makes sense from a player perspective that you would have to tap yourself, but like it doesn't make sense as a card.
Yeah, it just makes it garbage. Makes it unplayable.
It's because the card's a common and they had to nerf it.
Yeah, commons need to be bad. All right, Brian.
This is Gobta, Feeling of Death. When this is played onto the stage from your hand, you can pay 1 stock. If you do, all players reveal the top card of their deck. If the level of your revealed card is higher than the level of your opponent's revealed card, choose one of the 2/1 backup events from yellow from your waiting room and return it to your hand. If the level of your revealed card is lower than the level of your opponent's revealed card, choose one of the 1/1 yellow events.
The events fucking suck, so this card sucks.
Yeah.
Gives you a card. F plus.
It is a
plus.
It's always a pay 1 plus. It's always a pay 1 plus, but the cards you get fucking suck.
Yeah,
So,
gives you information about your opponent's top card, dude. Broken.
Wow.
D minus.
Yeah, it's like Canary.
Oh, Canary's broken.
Jesus. All right, move on.
Oh, there he is.
This Gabiru, I'm just gonna give it an F. It's just a coin flip. Mill 5.
F plus for mill.
It does actually, yeah, F plus because F double plus because this just turbos you through your deck. You play this, yeah. You know what? It's a plus plus F, not a. I don't know why my cursor went over there, but yeah, it's plus plus F.
Okay.
It's fine. All right. This next card.
It's 1/0 students. When this attacks, if you have 4 or more cards in hand, it gains 3,000 power for the turn. Yeah.
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 Why when there's a 1/0 7,500 on turn card that doesn't have a condition?
Yeah, this one is just worse. Yeah.
Yeah, it serves the same function or purpose as the mech, but the mech is conditionless. It's always a 7,500 on your turn.
Yeah,
like,
why does this
even though the
exist?
condition is free. Like, yeah, why does this card exist? I really don't understand.
Yeah. Do not like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a D.
Agreed.
You, bro.
All right, we have Rimuru, Break at a Hot Spring. It's a 2/1, 6,000 power. Gets 1,000 power continuous for each of your other Demon Continent characters. Can sit at 10k, and it has character hand on core. Yep.
Hate it.
Don't like it.
Garbage.
It's not even a good standby target. The worst part, actually, is that this is the best level 2 standby target in the set because the 2/2 is a 9,500 with hand on core.
Blech.
And I think that's really sad.
Yeah, that's
yeah, that sucks.
That hurts. Yeah.
All right, 2/1 Rigord, right? When it's a bottom deck bomb or for early plays. Guess it's cool that they have it.
Yeah, hard removal exists.
But it's worse than the 1/1 bomb. Just objectively worse than the 1/1 bomb.
You are.
Well,
right.
you can make the argument that the color.
Yeah, the fact that they have 2 options is fine. Yeah.
Like blue is the color that you're playing more of because it's the level 1 combo and it's the early play. So like it's easier to color fix for blue, but yeah, the 1/1 is better if you need a hard removal anti-change bomb.
Yeah. It's fine. Alright, moving on. Ragna.
When the battle opponent of this becomes reversed, you can send this to memory, and then at the start of your next draw phase, you bring it back. It's a time machine. It's a 2/1 time machine, 8K. Time machine fucking.
Yeah. Time
We love
Machine.
the cards in memory in Slime.
Time Machine has to be so good to function. Yeah, this doesn't function.
What? Time machine like never functions. I can't think of like any time where
My
time
custom
machine
card, dude. My custom card
okay, that's
function.
not
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. Yeah, no, but yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah.
Time Machine has to be
If
way
you're
too
playing-
good to work.
If you're playing a time machine kind of card, like if you need that advantage that time machine offers, I think your deck just sucks. Like, just
Yeah.
this is like the lowest
Mhm.
form of conditional plussing you could ever have.
Just
Yeah.
open up lanes that just gets you hit for extra damage. Just
Also, it's at level 2. Why would you
Yeah,
ever
level
disrespect
2.
at level 2?
yeah, it's
Yeah,
just like
that's
let's
back
give my
to level
opponent
2.
an open lane, level 2, and slam me. Yeah. You're also never getting a reverse with this level 2 either. So, cool flavor, bad card.
All right, we have the Other Mask event. It's a 1/1 counter event. Choose a Demon Continent character, gets 2,500 power, goes to memory. At the start of your main phase, you can ditch a climax to take this back.
I guess it's cool they got an option, right?
Yeah, it's fine, I guess. Definitely play the Other Mask more often.
Yeah, this card's like actually pretty good by
Mhm.
itself, but
Oh, yeah.
it fights against another mask that plays into the game plan of the set better. So this card becomes obsolete.
Maybe if there's like a pants standby deck in the next set, this becomes better.
Yeah, if standby becomes better and you want
Yeah,
to hold board
this-
harder.
Yeah, this card has the potential to become really good, but as it stands, it doesn't really serve
Just
a purpose
worse.
to place.
Yeah. No reason to protect your characters when your early play Shizu has hand on core. It's gonna give it the middle of the road C.
Mm-hmm.
Just not as good. Alright, we got the Great Sage. You play this, so 1/1 goes to memory, and then at the beginning of your climax phase, you can give a Rimuru 2,500 power. We talked about this before. The Rimurus are not playable at a point in the game where this matters.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, this card sucks.
You don't even need the power for your 3/2 Rimuru. Well, you can maybe make the argument that like it helps the Rimuru, like reverse
Yeah,
Reverses, maybe.
that'd
Yeah.
be it. Yeah.
like if you play like the standby deck, or if you play standby and like your game plan is to standby the 3/2 out and then spawn the Rems at level 2 and snowball, then this card becomes a little bit better. But I think that's like the only use case for it.
Yeah. I still don't think it's worth. I think you have enough memory. You don't have to like stretch yourself to play this bad event to get more memory. You have other ways to get it, so not much of a point. All right, let's run through these promos real quick. There's a couple of them. I'll just lightning round them real quick. So we got this 2/1 assist. On play, reveal top. If it's a level 1 or higher, it goes to stock. So it's a 2/1 that might play for free. Level assist.
Potentially free level assist. Meh.
It's okay. It's
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
perfectly fine card in a vacuum, but you have better options.
Yeah, it's just.
Yeah, bleh. I'd rather play the 2/1 Shizu with the way that
Mhm.
the deck works. D+. Alright, we got the Shion in the bath. Front row center slot, 1 soul. Played from hand to stage, gets 1,500 power, so it swings for 3,500, and if it's center slot, it has 2 soul.
Bunga bunga.
Yeah.
Bunga bunga tri-lane. Nah,
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. D. It's not unplayable, it's garbage.
No, D
Bad.
plus for spicy second soul.
2/1 Milim. This is played from hand to stage. Mill top 3. If there's at least 1 climax in them, choose one of your opponent's level 3 or lower characters in their front row and kill it. That's interesting. I don't think it's good,
No, it's very stacky.
but
This kind of effect, it has the potential to be really good depending on what you're playing against. So like if you're
yeah,
playing against like like Bunny Girl. This gives you a way to out the Futaba bodyguard at level 3.
Yeah.
If you're playing against Fate, it gives you outs against the Rider if you for some reason aren't playing the on-play bounce card. And so I think that is pretty cool about it. But this set
Yeah.
has the bounce card,
Yeah.
so the use cases for this become a little bit slim. You'd only play this if you wanted to greed the one stock.
Yeah, or you needed to bounce at level, quote unquote, bounce at level 2. You just needed to kill something
Yeah.
at level 2 instead of level 3. I guess that's better against the Negsoul stuff at 2. It's like a D plus C minor.
Yeah,
It's
it gives you an out to Negsoul at 2, or it gives you a potential out to Negsoul at 2, with like out having to like give up the turn because of the Negsoul.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right, we got the Shuna. It's a 1/0, 5k. When it attacks, you have 2 other Demon Continent characters, gains 2k. Hate it.
Yeah,
B-.
bad card.
Blech. Garbage. All right, and last one. We got this Shizu. When this is played from hand to stage, look at top card, put it top or bottom, scry, and then it pay 1 bonds to that shitty 7/5.
Oh, we love Apple Bond.
Ugh.
I mean, Apple Bond is like fine if the card you're bonding to is, but that 1/0 sucks.
Yeah.
So this card sucks.
I would rather that this be an actual Apple Bond. If this was just Kyoko shares an apple and this other card was 5,500, this would be better.
It
But
would
it's
be better.
actually
I
shit.
agree. I completely agree.
Only a D because it also has scry attached to it. The rest of the card's
Mhm.
garbage.
I mean, Pay 1 Plus is a thing that exists, I guess.
All right, so blue overview. We got the first 3 cards we looked at, the Mill, Rimuru, the Zero, the Chiri.
Mhm.
Obviously the Shizu combo and the Shizu early play. Those are all just like nuts. Got the merge target. Both merge targets are, the level 0 is the better part of it. The other one's just saving you stock, as Ryan brought up. Then we got the event bonder, the 1/0 back row, anti-standby. I think that those are like the big ones, right?
Yeah, then there's the stock charger and the act
The
engine.
stock charger.
Yeah, the
then
stock charger, yeah.
The 2/1 support.
Yeah, the 2/1 support. That's important, yeah. Can't find it. There it is. Yeah, 2/1 support. Yeah, blue seems to be like the color you'll be in the most,
For sure.
which makes sense. Rimuru is blue. It's like I don't see a world where you don't play the Shizu combo at level 1.
No. There's quite literally no reason to ever not play the Shizu at level 1 besides budget options or like waifu options or whatever.
Yeah, it just seems like if you're not playing the Shizu combo, you're just making a mistake, no matter what you're doing.
Yeah,
It seems
you
bad.
lose out on you not only lose out on like an insane level 1 advantage combo, like you lose out on the really good like options that the top end 3/2 combo gives you, and you lose out on like the only good early play in the set.
Yeah, like the
The
package
Shizu
is too
early
strong.
play I had this issue when I was trying to build like mono red slime for like Million Wife. Like you don't have early plays in this deck or in this set other than the Shizu and the Shion. Those are like the only early plays. And if you don't play the Shizu combo, you can't play the Shizu early play. So you're just left with Shion. And like Shion's like as we said is like it's okay, but it's not very good.
Mm-hmm.
Just like another like way that this set is sort of funneling you to play the Shizu combo at level 1, which some people like, some people don't like. I'm okay with it personally, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this entire package is too strong not to run. This is just all way too good to me.
Yeah, the whole memory compressed mask package.
Like you just throw mask, you throw this, like you throw the combo, you throw the early play in the deck. Just I don't know. It's just way too good, and it's too good of a base to build off of for whatever else you want to do. The other climax, just like you have all these strong cards, and you do whatever else you want.
Yeah, they're strong enough to carry like any game plan that you would want to go for it, even if like you don't want to like go for the win combo. You don't have to. Like if you follow the Japanese scene, as you saw at the past tournament, they opted not to play the win combo and not the Rimuru, but they still played all the Shizu package stuff because that stuff is just really good. It's a really solid foundation.
Yeah. Just seems way too good. All right. Any other closing thoughts on blue? All right.
No, best color. Yeah, best color.
Yeah, best color.
Yeah, nothing we haven't said.
Right.
The Chloe is the best art, or the second best art in the set, and that automatically makes it a good color in my eyes.
Yeah, the Chloe is very good. All right, well, I throw this slide at the end of all of our videos when I get a chance. This is all our links here. Starting out with the Discords, we, Pittsburgh Weiss Schwarz, do not own or operate either of these, but this is where the Weiss community congregates. The Card Games Discord and the competitive Weiss Schwarz Discord. If you're looking to buy, sell, and trade, you got the Facebook groups. Those are primarily like trading and buying and selling groups, but the global community does have reveals even for JP with translations. So definitely join those if you're looking for that. Also have our Twitters here for our recurring cast. Wibbs, do you have a Twitter you want to plug, right? I can throw this up here.
Ooh,
it's
yeah,
just
sure,
not? Isn't it just at Wibbs, right? Or
it's at Wibbs 8.
Wibbs 8, okay. All right.
I just post Shamikos and magical girls.
You've conquered the algorithm. Like it's just Shamikos. But yeah, in terms of other Pittsburgh content coming up, well, I guess I'll hand it over to Ryan first. You have any plugs, Ryan? You want to do before I get into this?
Shoutouts to Strictly Broken, #1 store in North America to buy your Weiss cards from. That's about it. That's all from me.
Hell yeah, I agree. Strictly Broken, best store NA. I'm not even sponsored, and I'll say that. You got an unsponsored thing. I'll always show for SBTCG. My favorite place to buy Weiss. Online for sure. Anyway, Pittsburgh Weiss Schwarz content coming up. As we've been doing, we've got the Rush Rundown series Mondays and Wednesdays every single week, starting from the bottom. We started with the Sky, and we're working our way all the way to the top of English. So that's going to go chronologically. So make sure you subscribe and check that stuff out as we go up. We also have our deck techs every single Friday. We're just finishing up all the JoJo's decks that everyone requested, so that'll be out, and then from there we'll pivot into some new stuff. So we got 3 days guaranteed content on the channel between Rush Rundowns and the deck techs every single week. Now that this is done, what's the next set, right?
Is it Nazarick?
Yeah, I guess it's Overlord, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's the only other thing that's like announced that we could review. So I guess look forward to Overlord because we always do these set reviews.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll do Legend of Crimson at some point.
Oh yeah, we got to do Konosuba. I can't wait to just throw S's on every single fucking card. Be like, this card's broken. This card's broken. This card's broken. I can't wait. But yeah, I think that's it. Brian, you got anything else to throw up here before we close it out?
I'm good.
All right. I think that's it. Pittsburgh Weiss Schwarz signing off. We'll see you guys in the next video.